Oh, wow. Okay, angles, right?
Oh wait, I have it.
Oh yeah. Wow, what's that? Wow. We have funny lightings, man. Yeah?
Oh wait, something's missing. Tuck in. This is for you.
Alright, auto files. We are in another video of a sit around.
Yeah.
Today, what do we have here?
National car. Proton X70.
There are 4 specs here. You have, what is it?
Standard, executive.
Alright.
Then executive 4-wheel drive.
Right. And then premium.
Yes. It's almost like they copied Honda CR-V.
I think they did. What we have here is a premium. Basically, filled to the brim, except it doesn't have 4-wheel drive.
So you like SUVs?
Yep. I don't really like SUVs.
You love SUVs. You like off-roaders. You like serious off-roaders.
Okay.
You tell me, do people need 4-wheel drive?
To be very, very frank with you, not really.
Okay. That settles it. No more debates.
You don't need it, but when you need it, you'll be glad you have it. Let's do our sit around 360 and let's start with the front.
Shit, I have a laser pointer, man.
No need lah, you're right beside it.
Is it bright enough? Oh, welcome to the front of the car. Welcome to the only work that Proton did.
But I have to give them credit because it looks good. What do they call this?
Infinite weave.
Oh, what? It's basically what?
Subaru. It reminds me of a Chongkat, you know?
Oh yeah, it does as well. Good job nonetheless.
It is a good job. And people complain that, oh, Proton didn't do any work on his car. You think about this, to re-engineer a car that is already set, their aerodynamics, their safety standards, everything is already set. That means you have to recreate something which is just as aerodynamic and still has its own identity.
And it's more solidly put together than a lot of modern premium vehicle. I'm talking about you, Mercedes-Benz. Right, look at this. I mean, it barely moves. Light cluster, very Protonish. I think that hawk motif, is it still there?
They call it Proton wings. This is actually a Geely thing.
Okay. Even this notch here?
Even this notch, everything here was exactly the same except for the writing that says Proton.
Proton there. Okay. This is something I really need to talk about a little bit.
Strobe light?
That Proton word there. Yeah. You see this in BMW, you see this in Mercedes-Benz. But nobody seems to get the font done right. It all looks like some cheap knockoff fake toys you buy from Pasar Malam.
Suppose they have one CNC machine that can do the laser engraving. It's just one font that they have. I did a video about how their design language is, incorporating the tiger thing.
Right.
When they did their design talks about this car, they kept going on about this is the eye of the tiger. This is the whole car is designed after the Malayan tiger and all that.
Right.
But it's a bit of a stretch because you think about it, they didn't redesign it.
It's the same thing from China.
I understand marketing. You need to do all these things. You need to fluff it up, call it a Chongkat thing. The Proton Design House, the only mistake they made was they should have kept the things that weren't changed. Just don't call it anything yet. Yeah. Then when you reveal your own design, your own direction, then you call it facelift. In the facelift, in your next, in your iris or whatever. Now if you call this the eye of the tiger, I'd be like, this is the eye of Geely. It's the same thing. This whole front end looks very handsome, very appointed.
Actually very good. I mean, if you notice, there is this edge here that is missing a lot of modern cars. And I think it's quite confident for them to put this edge here, reminiscent of BMW of about 5 to 8 years ago. I think it's a very good design language. The cluster, very well done. Compared to the Vios that we did here, that was amateur. Yeah. This is very well done. Everything was, almost artistic. Right? Almost artistic.
See, you can have like 3 or 4 different materials here. If your plastic painted in body color.
Plastic, you have
chrome bits.
Chrome bits, metallic painted parts. But it works well enough.
There is a radar sensor down here for your self-braking. This looks like a radar sensor.
Before we go, again the bonnet, very interesting. You see 2 creases here, right, and 2 creases there. Not as pronounced, not as purposeful. I would prefer it if it's a bit more like pronounced, but I guess they're going for a slightly more conservative feel. Yeah. Okay, that's all for the front. Front quarter panel. First thing that caught my eye, wow, that's a mighty big rim. I know it looked better, but seriously, I mean, for a person paying 100,000 ringgit, at most 120,000. How much are these tires going to cost to replace?
Estimating about 500-600 bucks.
And that will be a little bit heavy on your wallet if you're going to change this. Not necessarily a good thing, to be honest. What about the design? Do you like it?
So this is generally to me a good looking rim, and they kept it dual tone. it's what you expect in a premium car. The only sort of complaint I have is the Proton logo, the hubcap here.
It's as cheap as ever.
It just feels like the cheapest thing on this one. I mean,
again,
it's
a typical Proton job, isn't it?
It's just, it doesn't match anything. It doesn't match the screws.
The color doesn't match as well.
The only way this could be worse is if it just said X70. Then it looked like a China toy that was shrunken down.
I was looking at this wheel well. I noticed some features here. There's a vent up here. Is it a functional vent? Is it a functional vent?
Can you shine light through?
Yeah. It is.
Functional vent.
A lot of thought has gone into this car. It is not a car that looks like you pay 100,000 ringgit for. It's not like a 90,000 ringgit car where things are just slapped together because it's cheap. One thing I don't like about a lot of crossover nowadays is that they use this material. Because over the years, this thing will grey and then they will fade.
But this is a signature crossover look.
Yeah,
if you don't have the plastic body panels at the bottom,
right,
it won't look like a off-road.
It won't look like an X.
Yeah, it won't look like an X.
Right, TGDI, that stands for
turbocharged gasoline direct
It
injection.
sounds like something that came from Mitsubishi, GDI.
But GDI is something that even Kia puts on there.
Oh, is it?
I don't like that badge. I think that's a badge that they can afford to throw away.
No point.
Like
it serves no purpose.
If I were Proton, I say, when you bring in the cars, can you maybe take off the badge?
And you have a red color and then you have a blue color. That's the most contrasting color ever.
Yeah, and it makes the car look just
a bit cheaper.
This is the only thing that from Geely that I disagree with. You don't put it on your product itself.
It makes it feel a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Right? Moving on to the side mirror, you can see this is the indicator here, right? Relatively well screwed together. You have a camera, is this camera?
Yeah, there's a camera.
Do you have a sensor as well? The blind spot sensor?
Yeah, there is.
What is the blind spot sensor? Well, third quarter, most distinctive feature of this car, I have to say, is this part. The C-pillar.
This kink that goes in.
Right. This is a very standout feature of this car. So gorgeous, so purposeful. We thought it came from an Evoque actually. We did a quick check. No, it did not come from an Evoque.
We know it comes from somewhere, like
somehow it feels like it came from somewhere. Yeah. But it's just not the Evoque. It's something else. I don't know what.
Because it's the work of a professional design house. Seriously. Yeah. You want to talk about this thing?
Oh yeah. You get a bit of a chrome there. I hope they are a little bit more daring with the chrome because I think a 2-inch chrome would have looked better than this. Look at this, right? This is almost Porsche-like in its dimension, in its lights, isn't it? The lights goes in front, a bit longer than I wish it is, but you know, it's fine. Very unfortunate, very cheap China toy, plastic molding Proton wood here. But look at the shape of this tail light.
This body line on the panel here.
Yeah.
It actually goes into the glass.
Into the light, yes. Into the glass.
That
is what Audi did. And then they forgot to do it.
Can we move to the back?
To the back. Well, there is a real exhaust there at least. But this is not real. This is also one of the most distinctive part about a Proton X70. Very high mounted lights. Branding across the center. This is the same motif we see in cheap chairs. Haval H2.
Yeah.
Right? This is the same motif we see in
Haval.
And I have to say, it's beautifully done. Very distinctive, and then they gave it a different color. And I think that highlighted this area a little bit. Instead of just the same color as a German would do, right? I think it is done quite well. What gave this light its effect is the contour. Because the body slants down here, and then halfway through the light, it
bends
bottoms up. It cliffs down. The lights also incorporates very beautifully into this center panel.
Yeah, keep all the busy elements above this line.
Correct. Move to the bottom part.
Single rear fog lamp.
Okay.
You don't need to.
You have a diffuser, which is quite odd for a car like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a fake diffuser. Alright. I could live without it. Yeah. It's fine. But I like these exhaust tips. They are not real exhaust tip, but they connect to a real exhaust tip on the inside. I think that is the least you could do. Hey, this is metal, man. Metal, man.
This is Proton X70. This is Proton Pedal.
Well, now I see the purpose of this. This is like, wow, to replicate the shape of this.
Same shape and then same shape. Yeah, it looks good.
It looks alright.
It incorporates itself properly.
Plastic.
This is plastic. Metal.
No,
This is plastic.
plastic as well.
Is this whole tailgate plastic?
This is metal. I'm sure that inside there's a metal part now. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
It is a metal molding, but I think they kept the metal molding simple.
Yeah.
So they plastic molded another piece,
Yeah.
which they either glue on or they mount it, clip it in. Yeah, you see? Or it could be screwed in as well.
Right.
Yeah, you see that? Oh, it's done alright. I mean, there's nothing to be afraid of as long as there's metal here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they kept the metal molding to reduce costs,
Yeah.
so that maybe in China plastic molding is a lot cheaper.
I think it is cheaper to mold something of this shape.
Yeah.
You know, to
Yeah.
put all these creases in.
Yeah.
If it's all
Yeah.
plastic.
Yeah.
But just bear in mind, one fender bender and you have
Yeah,
to
you have to
the
replace this whole thing. Yeah.
In fact, you have to replace two pieces. You have to replace the metal and you'll have to replace this. Or you can just bang out the metal and then replace it.
No, these are things that well, you won't realize until you look very closely, isn't it? Interesting. It doesn't have that boot.
No
motor.
power tailgate.
It's okay lah.
It's fine.
I live with this kind of thing. So let's go into the boot now. You look at the plastic molding and the metal pressing of this construction. It's all very modern and very up to par with what I see in more expensive cars. Definitely nothing unsightly. Definitely nothing that stands out that, oh, I need to pay attention to this. What impresses me the most of this boot is this. Look at this little metal handle.
Yeah.
It has real weight to it. Feel it, man.
Wow, it's heavy.
In a Japanese car, what you expect here is basically a plastic handle, right? They give you a metal handle. This is...
So this boot is about 515 liters.
I presume it's not great.
It's bigger than my B boot. The problem with this boot
Is the height.
to me is the height. The loading height is, look, it's all the way up in my pockets. Can you even see? Can you shine a light?
Right, it is, but it's consistent with the entire back profile. Everything is high, right? You have this material which I have not seen used here. A lot of times they use that kind of cardboard that, you know, will kind of, you know, turn soft and soggy if you get it wet.
You bring in a cooler,
Right.
which is leaking.
Right, that's it, man.
That's it.
That's it. This looks good, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds good, right?
Did that hurt?
That's a bit
Your dad was saying it's a compressed fiber.
fiber or something.
This felt
Yeah.
compressed.
Yeah, interesting. Very interesting. A lot of styrofoam here. Yeah.
I think there's a subwoofer in here.
Yeah. But where it is?
It's here.
Oh, it's incorporated into the.
Yeah.
One moment later.
So this entire spare tire cover
Is a woofer.
It's a subwoofer assembly.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But it's a different rim, yeah. This is a spare tire rim.
Yeah, still 18 inches. The real one is 255.
Yeah,
The
it's
spare
narrower.
tire is 155, so it's much narrower.
Well,
At least you get a spare
yeah,
tire.
a spare tire. That's blessing these days.
In emergencies, you might be rushing to get the cover off.
Damage it.
You may damage your subwoofer assembly, your wiring and all that. So just take care. Make sure you unhinge this thing.
I didn't put it in properly.
That's what she said.
Okay, now it's tight. Alright, and you get a
Socket.
12-volt socket. Not bad. Ooh, what the hell is this? This is a fuel line access.
It just has like a symbol of a fuel cap or something.
Fuel tank.
Fuel tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's an emergency access when the fuel cap
Cannot open. Oh, that's good thinking, eh? There you go. That's the back. Nothing fancy. The Yeti is in the car. Headroom is not bad, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. It doesn't touch my head at all. Width of the car is a bit of an issue, I feel. You know, with the door closer, the car doesn't feel as wide as a CRV, I feel. Yeah,
I remember when I was in the back of a CRV.
it is crazy, man.
I could stretch my legs out.
Right.
Even in my seating position.
This is your sitting position, right?
Yeah.
That's a 6-footer sitting position. Now, this car is not in want of legroom, to be honest. I mean, you have a full 2.5 inch of legroom here. But the reality is, I remember in the CRV, it was a little bit more spacious than this. Yeah, and as you can see, this is not a full-size bench as well. There's still an inch to my calf, right here. Yeah,
The thigh support is not complete.
it's not complete. But I have to say, the seats are very soft. Positioning, I don't like this because, you know, your hand is perpetually pressing on this.
Yeah,
you can
Constantly
you
open
can elbow your drink compartment open. I'll just copy the Toyota, what they do.
Yeah.
Just that thing that comes out here. You have aircon vents, that's really good. Wow, air cleaner, what is that?
It's an ionizer, yes.
Ionizer,
It's an air ionizer.
Right.
Which you can turn on from the front.
Right.
And it pushes cleaner air out.
Okay.
Volvo also has it, Toyota has it.
What matters most is this too, right? You can adjust your volume as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. And you have two USB ports down there.
This is something that you don't get in a lot of Japanese cars.
Right.
Which is the seat back cover in plastic, in hard plastic.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a motor. This is a bit European, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Normally,
almost BMW and Audi, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is amazing stuff.
Yeah.
This design language. This is an art piece, man. It's a door holder. Very well screwed together. It incorporates itself into the door handle as well.
yeah,
Look at
that part was really cool.
beautiful, man. Very beautifully done. If you don't tell me what car I'm sitting in, and if I have no experience with this, and you tell me, oh, this is the latest Audi design, I would have bought like 50% of that. But I was thinking, okay, if it's Audi, it would not have slanted, it would have been straight down.
Solidly screwed together as well. But I feel that it creaks a lot.
The hell are you trying to do?
Sights and sounds of Proton X70. Yeah, this handle to the door is really well screwed in, but the trim piece to this handle, thumb pressure, you get the noise. I would have preferred this as a solid piece. No need to put this metal trim piece.
Stitches? Is this real?
Is it real?
I don't know, man.
Is anything real?
You know, we're going for
Whether it's
philosophical tonight.
whether it's real or not, it
looks good.
It's real enough
For you to think
to
about it.
convince me that it's real, because the material is soft touch on top.
Yeah, it's soft touch.
Oh, the speakers was the second thing I wanted to talk about.
Right.
The original Boyue X70 comes with this brand called Corel. It's an Israeli company, cannot.
Yahoo!
Yeah, so they replaced it with Kenwood. I also saw a Facebook post. The accessory shop was willing to put back the original, not Corel, Morel sound system.
Okay.
Because Morel sound system is actually good stuff.
Good stuff,
It's
okay.
premium audio.
No, but cannot.
Cannot.
No, cannot.
So you take your Kenwood and you be happy. I want to point out something.
This
Toyota Camry
has this.
has this.
Why do we have it on this car?
See, Proton has a lot of government cars. So
yeah.
when you have a government official sitting in the back, he can come in and then he can push his Karani all the way to the front and destroy her legs. Oh, it all sounds so wrong. If you have children at the back, they can just
Mommy!
One more thing which I like is LED interior lights.
Oh yeah.
Full
Sunroof.
Moonroof, I guess.
Moonroof at the back.
Yeah, it goes all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing can go all the way back,
Yeah.
but we just didn't bother. Okay, let's go to the front.
Car manufacturer, you guys really have to stop doing this. This is insulting, man.
Yeah.
Imagine, highlighting a puddle of mud.
Yeah. This is what our brand is. You're trying to say that I'm stepping on your logo, but you see, my logo can never be stepped, because once you step on it, it goes on top of your shoe. Oh, okay. Oh no. Actually, this time not Yeti. This time it's purple color is Barney the dinosaur.
Let's start here. Steering wheel, beautiful. Look at the material here. Regrettable thing here is Proton. You had one job. Why don't you pick this to fit this? Why don't you pick this material then?
Cosma.
This is just this. Adjustment is quite good actually.
Yeah.
Tilt.
Actually,
telescopic.
the telescoping, I feel it could have come out a bit more.
Yeah. I felt the sitting position is a bit monkey-like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
long,
realise that?
long arms, short legs.
Long arm. That's exactly monkey, isn't it? Long arm, short leg. That's almost Italian.
Yeah.
Almost Italian in his driving position. Very odd, but I like this. This feels really good. A bit intrusive at first, but I find myself holding on to it. Look at that. This is solid stuff. Of course, you have some cheap plastic, but you can cover it up. Thank you very much.
I realized the first card that I found in the car, this car in the car.
Oh, it's inside this.
Inside here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the. I mean, this is where your
Soft plastics, right?
Yeah. Don't put it here, lah. You know, your fingernails are gonna go in.
I like this. Separated. This one slanting up. Very Vela.
Yes.
You might be thinking, oh, that's such an awkward position, but it works.
It works because I can still see it all the way down here.
Very odd.
But I have to say that the usable space, as we talked about,
yeah.
you go inside the car, the first instinct you have is to throw your keys here.
Yeah.
But if you have if you have like something like a bottle here, then you end up like just now you threw your keys over here. There's a little pouch here for you.
But this is a bit small to be honest.
And the center box also is a little bit small.
Let's open it up. You have a power outlet 12 volt.
Yeah.
You have a USB. That's it. Relatively deep, but very small, very restrictive.
Yeah.
But I have to say, this feels good.
Wait, lift it up again. Do you see that? That's your ionizer.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Coming back here, there's one thing I have to say is this brushed aluminium, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think it's real aluminium.
It's plastic.
It's plastic. But it's made to look like brushed aluminium, and this panel is actually very Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Chinese. You see this panel in Haval H2 as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it's really nice. Yeah. And there's a little kink here, you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very well done. Very artistic, and it doesn't really join, yeah? And it just joins back here, you see that?
GKUI, it's supposed to be the biggest selling point. And I debated with myself, if I was Proton, would I include this? And the answer is yes, because it's a talking point. It distracts you from talking about any of the parts of the car.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You just get people to talk about this.
Right.
And then any problem they have, the car is Chinese. So what? You can talk to the car, your car, you can talk to the car. No.
It's gimmick. Like, I've never bought into gimmick, but I see it sells. You know, people like this kind of thing. But to me, most important thing, USB is here, Bluetooth is here.
China is here as well. As in, all your fears about China knowing where you are. Yeah, you got your Chinese Baidu app here, so the Chinese government will know where you are.
Hey, you can clean up your.
Yeah, I mean that shows that it's basically an Android unit.
You have to clean it up.
You have to clean it up. They can do over-the-air updates. So this thing has 4G as data itself.
Right.
So if Proton says I have to update this thing, they will send you an update. Yeah, you got Teams, man. Happy Chinese New Year.
Oh, Chinese New Year.
I came in and I saw this and I was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah. I feel more in touch with the car now.
So you want to change the other themes, you can go in.
No, it's okay. What's HVAC?
Heating, ventilation, aircon.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you can control from here, or you can control from here.
Let's find out. Yeah, you can.
Wow,
nice.
Not bad. Wow. It's responding to my...
Look at that little animation.
Yeah,
that's
not bad.
Shit.
But this thing puts out a bit of heat. You can feel...
Oh yeah.
Yeah? The heat radiating from this.
That means this Android tablet is working very hard.
Very hard. But this is not bad. You can look at the KL weather, right? Add a city. Let's add the motherland.
Add Johor Bahru.
Johor. Johor Bahru. Alright.
Now we wait.
We can switch off this, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Very responsive.
There you go. Now
very quick. And now, nice with one highlighted button.
Yeah.
Not bad. And let's switch it on. Oh, so quick. Not bad.
Yeah.
And you have your radio. But can you control your radio also? Oh, you can control here.
Yeah.
Which is really good. Oh, this is capacitive as well. Not bad.
Nice.
Not bad. Good stuff. Not something that would sway me, to be honest. The car would sway me more. But this is, I think a lot of people would like this. This instrument cluster.
Yeah. Just wanted to note, that's a Volvo part.
Right.
You have that at the fuel gauge or so over there. But to me, an instrument cluster should be primarily easy to read.
Right.
You see the amount of graphics they have in there. The fading background. All that. It feels like, and even
too busy.
Yeah, parking with that little bubble, with a little highlight.
Unnecessary. Yeah.
Very unnecessary, especially when you press. See, now the entire graphic of your button comes out and it tells you that now this button is contextually changed to be mapped to this. So it's
very confusing. But most importantly, I think it's this one. I think you have your tire pressure monitoring system. On top of that, you have your temperature of your tires. And for anyone in the know, if there's something wrong with your tire pressure, your temperature will go up as well. If there's something wrong with your
brakes,
bearings or your brakes, your temperature will go up as well. So I think this actually is really quite good.
Soft touch up here.
Right. Oh yeah. They don't have to do this absolutely, but they did anyway. And it's pretty well screwed together. But generally the panels are very well screwed together. Very, very well screwed together. Everything is, look at that. Panel gap, very small. Unfortunately, I don't have a handle here. I'm one of those guys that sometimes when I drive, I do this. Sunglasses stuff. Hey, this is the pattern.
Yes.
The pattern. The original pattern is still here. This is the subliminal Chinese propaganda. This is a Chinese motif, man. This is a Chinese wall motif.
And it's everywhere. It's then over the aircon vent.
Yeah, the aircon venting.
It's not a big deal.
Here as well. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, little kink there. Yeah, subliminal Chinese propaganda.
Yeah.
China will grow larger.
Okay, should we round it up at the engine bay?
Yes, let's go.
Oh, that sound. This is a Peugeot sound.
Peugeot sound, yeah? My goodness, I love this. Oh, absorbers. Absorbers, and you have two of them right in your face. This is good stuff. You see a lot of his shields, soundproof material. Wow, so covered.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Everything is covered.
Everything is covered. You have the battery here. Yeah.
And this also shows like a kind of a closed system. They don't want you to mess with
don't
anything.
want to mess with it. A lot of belts are exposed though. Aircon assembly is up here. Bosch. There's a Bosch brake unit. There's a brake or power steering. Manufacturer Zhejiang Johnson control battery. Noise is okay. Idle sounds alright. So, right, that was our sit around 360 of the Proton X70.
Honestly, it's built to a much higher spec and much higher
Standards,
level,
right?
Yeah, than I would say mainstream competitors. This I don't think is a simple car. You can see that the design reflects its complicated and complex underpinnings.
Right.
Yeah, so I think that's a good thing and a bad thing.
Right.
It's a double-edged sword because you are definitely 100% you're getting
A very well engineered vehicle.
yes. I mean, we're not even being paid by Proton here. We're honestly saying this car is built like a premium SUV.
It reflects in the right quality. It reflects in the way the car handles. Perhaps you are right to a certain extent. Some parts of it is a little bit complicated. Especially the drive-by-wire doesn't feel very instinctive yet. Something they need to work on, I think, the drive-by-wire, the pedal feel, and the reaction time is a little bit backwards. But other than that, I mean, you can't really take a lot of Japanese offering and say, hey, Japanese car is superior to this. Not necessarily.
But the double-edged sword comes in the fact that we all know if you buy a GLC 200, GLC 250 or even an XC60, after the warranty is over, you better sell it. You better sell it before your problems start.
Right.
And we also know that a lot of Proton buyers don't sell their car after warranty.
Right, yeah.
So if you're going to buy this car thinking it's your traditional Proton or it's a CRV competitor so I can keep it for 8-9 years, you better don't. I would say the moment 5 years is up, sell it and buy the new one.
I mean, of course, ultimately, the reliability tests, it's only time can tell. But to a certain extent, I feel that you may be heading the right direction. In the sense that, because this car is very 21st century, I'm not talking 21st century like 2005. This is a very 2015, 16, 17 car, right? It's not a 2019 car, but it's engineered to a relatively high standard, and it's relatively complicated. And what we know about even German cars today, you don't keep them very long because they just can't last. They're just so complicated. You know, those days of keeping a Mercedes-Benz 15, 20 years, those are gone, man. Those are long gone. You can't keep a Mercedes more than 10 years these days. The thing will kill you with maintenance.
And when you look at the design, when we were looking at some parts like the boot and all that,
right,
where it's layer upon layer of different materials.
Right.
You know, you're going over roads and all that, especially
right,
Malaysia.
Right.
Things will start. You know,
this is a bona fide modern vehicle.
Yeah, this is
almost premium.
Yes.
Yeah, bona fide modern, almost premium vehicle. In fact, it's more complicated than many of your premium entry-level offering. More complicated than my 3 Series. The electronics in there, it's way more complicated. I'm not saying that it will break, but in a Mercedes-Benz, in a BMW, they will break. So there's no reason why in a Geely it won't break. I don't know how this will hold up. Yeah. To be honest, very high hopes. But if your spending pattern is already very modern, you buy a car for 3 to 5 years and you throw, hey, by all means, great product, you're getting way more than what you paid for. So all I can say is we shall see. Overall, as a product itself, I think I am more than impressed. Yeah. Especially when I start looking at the underpinnings. When I look at the construction, the welding, the material use, the tightness of the gap. And this is not people who don't know what they're doing. The design language also tells you these are people who knew exactly what they're doing.
This kills two markets.
Yeah.
This kills the mainstream SUV market,
right,
and the entry-level premium market
You're right.
because it is the best of both worlds.
You're right. CRV and CX5 may still have a case for it.
Yeah.
CRV is significantly larger. Can't deny that. CX5 on the other hand looks amazing. I suspect will retain its value. Drives expectedly, alright? Relatively sporty. So both has its own strength. This sits really comfortable there. This is amongst the big boys. Yeah.
Basically, you have no reason to buy a Volkswagen Tiguan anymore.
no need to talk about that. X-Trail, I don't know, if you want to go for 3-row seat, maybe. Yeah. Other than that,
And now they have a hybrid, the only C segment SUV.
you know that whole, complicated.
Kia Sportage.
Right, Sportage, good looking.
I feel the build quality of the Sportage has some
Can come up to this. Very close, right? Very close.
But material and
But I felt that the Sportage that we drove was a diesel. It was. I'm not the biggest fan of diesel.
Hyundai Tucson.
Tucson is not to this quality. Not to this quality.
I would say build quality. Construction is similar, but material choice and all that is not.
The biggest drawback I have to say about this Proton is that it feels somewhere in between the HRV and the CRV.
Yeah, it is a bit taller and narrower.
Yes, it is narrow and tall. So headroom is good, but width is not there. Something to pay attention to. CRV is significantly larger. X-Trail, definitely larger. Right? But dynamics-wise, this is up there with the best boys. The big boys, CX-5, this is definitely up there. Alright? Technology, this is the big boy. Yeah. Looks-wise, this is one of the big boys. CX-5 is there. If you are prejudiced against Proton,
Or Chinese cars.
especially if you're prejudiced, I think there are more people who are prejudiced against Chinese cars. Right? If you're prejudiced against Chinese car, you really need to re-examine your prejudices. This product, that makes me want to check out Boyue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we love the Hava.
Right.
This is even more impressive
This
than
is
the
even
Hava.
more impressive now. Out of files, signing out of the Proton X70.